Hi everyone. Just making this real quick because I noticed some people probably just don't care about looking through their settings. So I'm gonna just highlight real quick what like the most important ones are, just in my opinion. I hate this noise. Let me get rid of it real quick. Okay, there we go. Um, yeah, so I'll start with video stats. It's pretty simple. If you, in general, mainly, you don't want to limit FPS um, off, so you want unlimited FPS, and then resolution and refresh resolution and your monitor and stuff, of course, depends on your setup. I play on 4x3 stretched. It's pretty weird for this game. It doesn't really do anything, but I come from Counter-Strike and I'm just used to it. For stats, again, it's really up to you what you think you want to see and what you want on your screen. But here's the important part is graphics quality. I would leave multi-threaded rendering on if you're running a GPU and a CPU. Um, it'll just be better because it'll split the workload. I play on all low settings for the FPS. I don't think any of these settings really matter when it comes to clarity in game, personally. Vig, vi, Vignette, yeah, that's what it's called. Vignette, bloom, and distortion, in my opinion, are all useless. They're just like screen effects that will lower FPS for no real benefit. Anti-aliasing, this I would and filtering, I would mess around with a little bit more. You can see what you can get away with and what you can't for your FPS. But pretty much what they do is they smooth out corners of things. So if it's really low, every character will have like really jagged edges. Pretty much, you can see kind of the pixels. And if it's higher, it'll be smoother. Um, I like improved clarity. Apparently, it does take a hit to your like you do take a hit in FPS, but if you can handle it, I would run it. Cast shadows, I feel like is a necessity. Or else, I mean, shadows are useful. Rarity, but they can be. Um, and then I don't know, experimental sharpening, also just up to you. Kind of makes the game sharper. Another big one, audio. None of these really matter. I guess they're all just personal opinion. Like you can set up your input devices, you can set up your bindings. That up to you. The important things though, audio levels. Make sure you have the important ones turned up. As you can see, I don't play with any game music because I use my own, but I have everything else pretty much maxed out. And make sure you enable HRTF because HRTF is practically just a better surround sound engine, better 3D sound engine, and if you're not used to running it, you will notice the difference, and it will be weird at the start, but it is better in the long run, and once you get used to it, you'll notice the difference. Like it's significantly better. Uh, let's go to general now, I guess. The biggest thing here, I mean, agent highlight color. I know people like all these different colors. I'm not really a fan. I prefer red default, but once again, it's just preference. You can try them all and see what you like best. Aim, of course, that's up to you. I'm not too familiar with this new raw input buffer thing, but I've played other games that use raw input buffer, and I know they slightly change the like feel of your mouse. It becomes slightly higher sensitivity, just because it removes every like acceleration. I'm pretty sure, and even with Windows acceleration disabled, you still have some small amount of native acceleration. Pretty much mess around with it. If you like raw input buffer, I doubt it's bad. Like it definitely isn't bad. But then for these, like your sensitivity, I would just pick a good one, stick to it, and never change it. That's my personal opinion. Another really, this is probably the biggest like setting, um, like the most important setting that will actually make you improve at the game, in my opinion, is this section right here, the map section. You don't know how many times I look at clips from like low elo and somebody can't see the entire map. The map should be huge, people. You should see the map always. You should be able to see the entire map always. The easiest way to guarantee that you can is to turn this off. Keep player center, turn it off. The rotate and fixed, that is personal opinion. If you rather have the map in one static position the entire time, that's totally fine. Up to you. You want vision cones on, so you can see what your team are holding, especially for solo queue and stuff. And yeah, if the player center doesn't make your entire map appear, or you think it's too small, or you can't see it well enough, you can always mess around with the minimap size and minimap zoom. But make sure the map is always visible, the entirety of the map, no matter what map you're on. You want to be able to see the entire map all the time. Okay? These privacy up to you, of course. For other, see, I play with corpses on. I'm just used to it. I know that no corpses is better. Like I literally had a kill yesterday that probably looked way better on everybody else's screen than it did on mine, just because I had corpses on and on my screen I was like shooting through a corpse and got lucky. But yeah, I would, if you want and if you think and it's not too weird, you can turn this off. It's just really weird for me, and I don't know. I never really had an issue with it, so you want to keep bullet tracers on for sure. You want to keep, I mean, spectator count up to you as well. And I mean, this stuff is all, yeah, I mean, this is all just quality of life stuff, UX stuff, so, I mean, it's just personal opinion. It's not going to change the way your game plays. It's just observer stuff and crosshair stuff. Another setting is network buffering. If you're having like a lot of packet loss and ping spikes, like very frequently, you might want to consider adding some network buffering. This will add some delay to your actions, like a little bit, but it'll make sure you don't like peak and buffer and lag and stutter all over the place. To be honest, I'm kind of considering turning this up to moderate right now because my internet at the moment isn't great. But yeah, so that's everything here. Controls. Okay, well, controls obviously up to you as well. Default controls aren't bad, honestly. I just not a fan of using C, so I have thumb mouse button instead. And if anybody's curious, the reason I have a raise one is because I just flipped the blast pack and the boom bot, just because it's more comfortable and they turned out to be placed in those abilities. So for normal binds, right here we go. Sniper rifle aim. Um, aim down sights. I'm not sure about the aim down sights. I think you can use either. Like, I don't think hold is better or worse necessarily than toggle. I think you can use either. Preference. Um, for sniper rifle aim, however, I do know. I don't know if this got patched because it's been a while, but hold is faster than toggle. Technically, maybe it got patched, but technically hold used to be faster than toggle. So if you really want to get that like little bit extra out of your op, you could decide on going hold here. And I know a lot of people do. Like I think the majority of people play hold for snipers in this game. But yeah. Uh, and then I would go probably cycle on the zoom. I guess you can also mess with this yourself. There is a way to set it to toggle so that you press a bind and it'll switch to the next zoom level. I mean, if you're a Counter-Strike player, you got this. This should be your Q bind in Counter-Strike. Don't auto-equip melee. Okay, yeah. These two settings here were added when I just wasn't playing the game, and I found out recently about them. Pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie. Make every character pretty easy to play. Um, so pretty much what they do is after using an ability, let's say you, I don't know, you're throwing like a Viper snake bite, and you had your knife out before you threw it. Before, if you threw the snake bite, you'd pull your knife out. And if you leave this default, that's what you'll do. You'll pull your knife out. But what they added is this do not equip melee and equip prioritizes. Um, and what that does is after I throw like a Viper molly, right? I'll get, instead of going back to my knife, even if I had my knife out before throwing that Viper molly, I'll get placed on my most recently equipped weapon or my strongest weapon. I like running recently equipped just because I don't know really. Because I'm just used to playing the old way where you had to have your gun out before you used abilities. Like I was a neon player and shit, so I'm really used to like making sure I have the right weapon before I go into my ability. Because with neon, you would just start your E. If you slide out without your gun out, it pretty bad. Like if you slide out without starting with your gun out, it's pretty bad. But to be honest, I'm thinking about this now. I'm actually gonna change the strongest, and then the rest of these are up to you. Communication. I mean, just make sure you have a ping button you can easily access. Make sure you have a team uh fucking push the talk button for your team voice. That's also easy to access. And the rest of this doesn't really matter. And I wasn't even gonna look at crosshairs because I don't know. Like people change their crosshairs so much in this game, it makes no sense to me. But okay, yeah. Just real quick about crosshairs. I'd never seen this before, so I was just curious. But real quick about crosshairs. Maybe there is something I can say about the sniper scope. Sniper scope. Don't make the dot giant. You want to see what you're doing. Um, but I would honestly think this dot is super broken. Like Counter Strike, for example, does not have this. You don't know when you can like have perfect accuracy. So I think this dot is super broken. I know people turn it off because they're just used to the timing, and I get that. But um, I don't think you should if you're new to the game and not familiar, at least perfectly with mechanics like counter strafing and well the op timing itself. But yeah, that's about it. Um, Thanks for watching. I guess. Actually, let me add one thing about crosshairs. The only thing I want to say about crosshairs is stop changing your damn crosshair, please. People change their crosshair way too much. Just stick to one you like, find one you like, and stick to it. Like, look at mine. It's literally just a cross and it's white. The only thing I've changed is maybe I'll make it pink or I'll make it yellow or green, depending on how I'm feeling that day and how good it's fading in. Because I hate the color palette in this game. It makes seeing your crosshair, no matter what color it is, so annoying. It just kind of depends on what map you're on and what agent you're fighting. Because then there's like Cypher on a white crosshair is so annoying because you lose the crosshair in his hat. But you know what I mean. I mean the crosshair shape itself and the size. I don't think you should change much, if any, ever, because you'll just get used to it. Like it gets to the point where your crosshair is you don't even see it. It's just like an indication of where the center of your screen is. But yeah, thanks for watching. I don't really make these videos a lot, so I probably talked way too much. Like this is a 15-minute recording. Yeah, I'll try and cut it down, make it short, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, if I missed any setting, just let me know. And those should be everything.